Tennessee, wow. I flew in from Ohio, where I live on a farm, so this is like Disneyland for me. I get to talk to people and not animals. We have animals on our farm. We have pigs and cows and horses. And when I want to get romantic with my husband, all I have to do is whisper in his ear, E-I-E-I-O. I wish I was making that part up. And guess what? It's my birthday. I am not afraid to say my age. I am 85 years old. I figure if you're gonna lie, you need to lie up. As you get older, natural beauty takes time. So I started doing my makeup on Monday, and I finished about an hour ago. And I got all dressed up, and I usually say to my husband, how do I look? And he says, you look fine. Not what I want to hear. What I want to hear is beautiful, fabulous, thin. Is this too much to ask? Wouldn't it be great if you could put a little computer chip in your husband's neck? And every time you touch it, he'd say all the things you always wanted to hear. You touch it and he'd say, that diamond is much too small. You touch it and he'd say, I have gas. I'm going into the next room. You touch it and he'd say, I'm lost. Let's ask for directions. But of course, he says it'd be better if you could put a little computer chip into my neck. You would touch it, and I'd say nothing. I tell him my voice has come in handy. When I lived in Los Angeles, I auditioned for the original phone voice of the iPhone Siri. Yes, and they told me if I had gotten the part, they would have renamed her Sorry. So we moved from Hollywood, and my husband said we were gonna move to his 100-year-old family farm and raise our children in God's country. And I'm thinking, okay, let's have the adventure. People working in the field, Mama cooking biscuits and gravy in the kitchen. We roll into this 100-year-old farm, and there were holes in the roof and a refrigerator and a couch on the front porch. It looked like a cross between Honey Boo Boo and Duck Dynasty. And I started to cry, and my husband said, what is wrong? And I said, well, where are the people? He said, you are the people. He said, but you can do whatever you wanted to this place. And I said, can we burn it? My first birthday on the farm, my husband gave me 6 chickens. He's a member of the bird family. Cheap, 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 cheap. 6 chickens. And soon we had 286 chickens. He said, let's eat the chickens. I said, eat our friends? He said, let's eat the eggs. I said, eat our friends' babies? I said, you go to the grocery store and get some of those homeless eggs, those I could eat. One morning, my husband woke me up and he said, let's go pull a calf. And I said, you know I hate aerobics. Because I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what it meant, so I got all dressed up because I thought maybe I'll meet somebody. Walk out to our field, and there is our prize cow. And she's hunched over, really pitiful, and she had a horrible moo coming out her. Ma, ma. And there was a thing coming out the back part. You know, it had little hoofs and a pulled face. It looked like a little purple Smurf thing. And my husband said the cow will die if we don't help her. So I ran to the front of the cow and I went. He said, do something else. I said, you having my baby? He said, now when the cow goes down, I want you to sit on her head. Can you imagine the doctor telling your husband, go sit on her head? But he was great. He got in the back of that cow. He's a lumberjack. He took those little hoofs and he started to pull, and he pulled and he pulled, and it came out. and everything else came with it. I said, put that stuff back in, it looks important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, that was great. I won't even ask you if that really happened.
Well, how could you make that up?
I don't know that you could. I really don't.
I bet you've pulled a calf before.
Actually, I can tell you I have not, and I don't think I'm going to start now. So just so you know. You've got a couple of sons. Do they think you're funny? Do they like your humor?
Absolutely not.
They don't?
They said, Mom, I can't believe that people pay you to do this. They just don't think, the only thing they laugh at is... They don't think I'm funny at all.
Maybe they'll grow into it. Now, you have sons that are in college?
Uh-huh. I have two sons,
yeah.
And my oldest just graduated from Ohio State.
Uh-huh.
And thank you. And he, you know, my dream for him to become a doctor, I want him to become a veterinary medicine doctor.
So he could pull those cows.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could make money on the farm,
yeah,
finally.
that's a good point, yeah.
You know, it's hard to make a living as a comedian on a farm. You know, you're doing jokes to the corn is what you're doing. It's not so easy. So and he called me up after he graduated. He said he didn't want to be a veterinary medicine doctor anymore. What he wanted to do was he wanted to come to Nashville and play music.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I fainted first.
Yeah.
And then my dream of him becoming a doctor changed to now I want him to marry a doctor.
Leslie, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Leslie Norris Townsend. Go to her website for hilarious stand-up videos. You can check out her tour schedule. That way you can see her in person. Or why don't you invite Leslie to entertain your group event? All of it at FunnyLeslie.com. You can also subscribe to her YouTube channel. It's at Funny Leslie.